Now to aviation attorney Sal Lagonia. Sal, thank you for being with us. Let's first talk about what we're seeing on the video. We'll keep playing this, and that is the actual missile-like descent that we just showed it on the screen, and then explosion when it hits. What can you glean from that video?
I think I've watched that video over and over, maybe about 100 times already now. And the one thing that really stands out is the angle of descent. That thing is coming down, like you said, it's like a rocket. I first thought that may have been what hit Philadelphia until we realized it was an airplane. Airplanes, it's hard to do that with an airplane. As short and stubby as the wings are on a Learjet 55, you still have that ability to move forward with a plane on the most circumstances. The word catastrophic has been bandied about all night. That had to happen on board, whether it was catastrophic engine failure in both engines, in which case you would have expected that there would have been a mayday call, but listening to the tape of the tower, there was no mayday call. Or some kind of fuel exhaustion or fuel, it wouldn't have been fuel exhaustion, but it would have been fuel contamination that took both engines out at the same time. And then we get into the type of aircraft it is. It's a medevac aircraft, which has oxygen on board. My understanding that the police have found at least one oxygen tank far away from the scene. That could indicate that it came out of the aircraft while the aircraft was descending from 1,600 feet. It wasn't up that high.
Well, it was at 1,600 feet, then dropping, 2,400 feet per minute, as you said, shooting down to Earth like a rocket. You can almost see it's traveling at this high speed, full throttle, nose down. Do you see a possibility of maybe a stall, and would that result in that trajectory or no?
I agree with the other guests. I think that's highly unlikely. I think there's something much more going on before the plane starts down. It really is out of control. You could see it. You could see something venting out of the plane as it's coming down if you look closely. And then finally, when it hits the ground, it makes that huge explosion. Why? Because it's full of fuel. It's starting its trip back to Springfield. And so there's a lot of fuel on board, almost 1,000 gallons of fuel. And that's going to hit. Any spark is going to create an explosion, the likes of what we saw. And yeah, there were low cloud cover, so that's going to make the explosion look even worse. But frankly, you're looking at the amount of fires in the area. That's from the airplane hitting the ground so hard that its fuel is spraying out and hitting the mall, hitting the cars that are in the vicinity. And there were, I think, 3 houses also that were on fire.
So would you say that the more likely scenario is that the airplane was in a nose down, at altitude with full throttles based on that velocity? And how could that happen?
Well,
what scenario would cause that?
Well, not necessarily full throttle, because if it's starting to fall, it's going to start picking up speed just from gravity. But what could cause it, there's a whole host of things. And as I went through my usual list of trying to figure out what could have happened normally, what do we normally see when we have an accident like this? There are so many things that I couldn't check off yet because we don't know enough quite yet. We've got to get more information. It's going to be hard in this case because the aircraft itself is consumed in the fire. The NTSB is going to have their work cut out for them. But one of the first things they'll do is they'll try to find the footprint of the airplane, find out where the left wing is, where the right wing is, where all these things landed. And where they land sometimes can help them determine how fast it was coming down and how much force there was used prior to the descent that we saw.
Yeah. Well, I want to give an update. The mayor of Philly said they don't have any information on the fatalities. The mayor says everyone should stay away from the scene. She confirmed what we all know, that we lost an aircraft. We don't have any further information. If you see debris, call 911, which I think is good advice. As I mentioned, President Trump has commented publicly on Truth Social, quote, "So sad to see the plane go down in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. More innocent souls are lost. Our people are totally engaged. First responders are already being given credit for doing a great job. More to follow. God bless you all. It's always sad to see something like this, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, and I'm glad to see President Trump is out in front of this, and Duffy is involved, Secretary Duffy. It's good to get the higher-ups out there, be the point people, put people on, give them some confidence in the aviation system. After the couple of days that we've just had, it's a little hard to do that, but aviation is safe. These two incidents are not related. These two incidents are very different, and when we get to the bottom of it, and we will, that's what makes aviation so safe. We have the NTSB. They will give us a probable cause at some point when they can and when they're sure of all the evidence. And that's going to make aviation even safer. We have, as aviators, we have an obligation to do that for the people after us.
Yeah, we really do. Sal, we really appreciate your time as always. Thank you for being with us.